If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. Well, guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. So I wanted to give you guys some FIFA information, like some tips, something basically. What I'm going to talk about is the menu grind here and how it's actually pretty good for futties right now, and show you my best way of doing it. There's kind of a trick to it a little bit with this new repeatable pick that we've got here. So we're going to talk about that a little bit to start with. What I mainly wanted to talk about today, because I'm recording this a long time before you're going to see this, like about 12 hours before, and usually it's like 2 hours before you end up seeing this video. I wanted to talk about like the last 6 months or so in terms of not just this channel, but like me and myself. And the reason I wanted to talk about that is, well, I'll get into that when we get there, but I feel like I finally can kind of talk about it now a little bit. But okay, so firstly, we'll talk about some FIFA stuff. If you guys only care about that, that's totally cool. The very first thing is, first of all, the menu grind here. So what I've been doing myself is basically just doing all the exchanges over and over again, apart from 86s and 87s. So 85s, 88s, and 89s, I've been doing those exchanges. So I've not been doing the 86s and 87s because of this pick here that I don't have in favorites. I don't know why. But obviously in this pick, you need 86s and 87s. What also you'll get back from this, though, is a small Prime Electrum and a Jumbo Gold pack, which will give you 8,000 coins, I would say, on average. You probably can make more than that if you sell literally everything, but it's July, so I say 8,000 coins or so. You'll get that every time you run through. If you pack something good out of the Jumbo Gold pack right now with all the common golds that you can pack that are special, that's good coins back. So add that in as well. Plus, there's a way to get road to the final winners and stuff like that, so that's pretty good. I got already a couple nice pulls from this, and you're just going to keep repeating that. So obviously, all gold cards go to the 83 plus pick here. I've not been doing any team of the week upgrades. I haven't needed them. And here's a better way of describing what I've been doing, with a few exceptions here, but Nepenthes has a pretty good grind tutorial here. 83s and below, 83 plus player pick, right? 84s go into the 8410s until you're done with those. The 84s that you'll get when you're done with the 8410s, Nep actually wants to put into player SBCs because he says here you'll get like 93, 94s, 95s. Don't be afraid to put in 4 95s and 7 84s into some Van de Ven squad, for example. That makes sense, right? 85s, 88s, and 89s to 91s all go into the 89 exchange, which I've personally been trying to save as many 90s and 91s as I can, but okay, that's fine. And the 92 pluses go into the player SBCs like he talks about there, and 86s and 87s I've been doing as well, like I talked about the 93 plus 1 of 5 pick here. That's kind of the written out way of doing it. If you want to put the 84s into player picks again, you totally can, if you don't have player SBCs to craft and stuff like that. So it's kind of been the menu grind I've been doing. I think that's been, you know, one that's pretty sustainable. And also, last thing I'll talk about with content here, I do want to give EA some credit for these fan favorite player picks. These 3 and 4s here have some very tough choices. They're not really tough choices because you get to pick like what, I think 4 of the 5 that you get to pick, so you probably get the ones you want to. But this number 5 here, like Winter Wildcard Mia Hamm, this Henry, obviously this Henry you can't get anymore, same with this Cristiano Ronaldo, and you get to evo these guys now. So that's just very cool to me. I think this is one of those ideas that I wish we saw more often, like a pretty cool different idea that you get to play some rivals games for. I personally would love to see a play 50 rivals games over and over again to get X reward, play 25 over and over again to get X reward. Those things have to be here as time goes on, I think, and this is just one of those things that is nice to see, and I really hope, and I think we need to see this more often next year, right? I think it's really cool, especially on PC. Like, you can't get Winter Wildcard Mia Hamm anymore, almost. It's really hard to find her, and obviously these SBCs are ones you can't get anymore, so cool to see that. But okay, so what I wanted to talk about next was kind of like a summary of the last 6 months or so for me personally, and I feel like I'm in a place now, luckily, where I can actually talk about this, and I feel comfortable talking about it more than I would have probably 6 months ago. That's the fact that, well, until pretty recently, I've had a really hard time feeling things. Like, that's been my biggest problem I've had over the last probably 6 months or so, is that I've just been numb, and my mental health hasn't been like bad per se, but also hasn't been good. But that ironically made things worse because I actually wanted to try and search for like feeling, because I was feeling nothing. Like, I just was numb a lot of the time. So in turn, I tried to like go off depression medication, thinking that maybe my medication was causing numbness, right? And it turns out that doesn't seem like that was the case, because I went off of it and it just got worse. So then I went back on it again and tried different meds out, and some of that stuff was pretty hit or miss. But the underlying problem was really that my circumstances in life weren't bad. Like, I am getting married. My channel, which at this point 6 months ago, especially like during team of the year time, was easily the best that it ever has been, and still now we're having the best summer we ever have easily on this channel. My family's health was fine. Like, my underlying circumstances were not indicative of how my mental health was, which is why I was more concerned almost, because like, what would it be like when things started hitting the fan, or when shit started hitting the fan? What would my mental health be like? That's why I was extra concerned about just my feeling nothing. Like, I just didn't feel sadness per se, but I didn't feel up. Like, my emotional range was like this narrow, where usually a normal person would be like this, right, where you could feel the highs but you could also feel the lows. I was like perpetually stuck in this just mid where I felt nothing, and I definitely still struggle with that some, but this is definitely the best I've felt in terms of just like letting myself feel again. Because it turns out what I think actually has been the problem here has not been a medication problem. It's kind of been myself. Like, I haven't been letting myself enjoy things. Like, let your guard down and let myself enjoy things. Like, for example, with this channel, I think what has been my train of thought is that when I don't enjoy something, I don't want to upload it for you guys, because I think that comes across, right? I want to force things. I always want to be my authentic self and upload things I want to upload and do the kinds of things that I feel like we'll both like, because in that way, that can be seen through, that the person that you're watching wants to actually make the content they want to make. Because a lot of the guys, you probably can tell, especially with FIFA content, don't want to make the content. They're doing it for a job, right? I don't want to be like that. So I think that was a struggle for me this year, because I didn't upload maybe as many things as I wanted to, because I just didn't feel like doing anything, like let alone FIFA stuff. I didn't feel like going outside. Like, I just didn't feel like doing anything. And that's why it was extra concerning to me, because I'm like, I don't even know why I feel like this. Like, I don't have any underlying reason as to why I'm feeling this way. I just feel this way. And it turns out what I think the problem was is just letting myself feel things. I think that was by far the biggest problem. And that now that we are like in the summertime and stuff like that, I've been enjoying my summertime and trying to like let myself just take a step back here and be like, okay, I'm going to feel things today. Like, that's what I tried to do. And that's why I wanted to make this video for you guys too, is that if you're out there and you are in like a feeling of just this middling numbness where you're just not feeling much emotion at all, what I would say personally is, well, first of all, it might be you have a mental health problem where you need to see somebody. Like, that might be the case for sure, and that probably is the case. But what's really helped me over the last really month or so, I would say for sure, is like putting my own walls down and letting my guard down for myself, and kind of forgiving myself, and then letting myself feel things. Especially a lot of us men out there, like, I'm sure you are the head of a family, or you are, if you're younger, you know, in search of what your meaning is, or in search of what you want to do for the rest of your life, and you probably have hella expectation on yourself. And just try your best for a second to just let go of some of that expectation. Just say, hey, no, I'm doing all right. Like, I'm a well-adjusted person. I know what I'm doing. I can still enjoy things while working towards my goals, right? So that's what I've tried to work on myself, and I feel like I can finally sort of articulate this in the best way I can and talk about it a little bit, because over the last 6 months or so, I think it's been very difficult. That's kind of why I feel like this year in particular, I didn't do probably as much as I could. And that goes with like everything, right? That goes with not just this channel, but like my entire life. And I think next year, my goal is to just like do my best to enjoy things. That's my goal. So next year, I think you're going to see a lot more from me, because I'm just going to let myself kind of do what I want. And I think that nobody was stopping me from doing that besides me. Like, it was just my own problem. But I think now, hopefully, I've gotten over that a little bit. And that's kind of been like my journey over the last little bit, is figuring that out. And I want to know from you guys too, like, if this is a problem you guys have too, like if you're just kind of stuck in that middle where you just don't feel as much as maybe you used to, or if you've had mental health issues over maybe say the last couple of years, like what have you guys done to improve that? For someone out there who has done something that substantially improved their mental health, like what did you do? I'd love to hear about that, because for many of us, it's going to be a journey we have probably for the rest of our lives, right? It's not just going to be something that you get over and then you never worry about it again. It's something that you're gonna have to deal with forever. So we got to all find ways to deal with that stuff in the best way that we can. So I'd love to hear if you guys have stuff like that in the comment section. And I just want to say thank you guys all again for being here, and I am greatly appreciative of every single one of you. We'll be back tomorrow with like actual regular content again. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Serve your own. Peace.